let's talk about some Drag Driver Pete updates. I am working on Drag and Drive World Champion points updates. Should have those to the Drag Driver Pete news presented by Summit Racing for. When you guys enter your names, sometimes you put a space on the end. Sometimes Bill is William. It's a pain in my ass, right? Because I physically have to go down each line almost. And there's nearly 2,000 unique racers that have entered a national drag and drive that is eligible for Drag and Drive World Champion points. So that's literally 2,000 lines. And if you didn't know how, sorting alphabetically works, William and Bill are on different lines. Well, if your last name is Smith, there's not a Bill Smith in there that did this, but it would be Bill Smith, every other name between Bill and William, B and W, and then William Smith. So it really it is a ton of manual labor to do that. So I just ask, however you start the year out, when you register for sick week, just if you're Bill, be Bill all year. If you're William, William all year. It will save me so much time. So anyway, so that's coming. We're going to deep dive on that on Wednesday night because we only have about 3 more events left in the year to collect Drag and Drive World Champion points. And I'm telling you, the race for the top is heating up. There's, Randy Seward has accumulated every single point that he has. And based on my simple math in my head, I think he's still leading, but it's by about this many points. So it's very, very small. But the race for second and third, the race for the 850 championship, the race for the 10-0 championship points, all that kind of stuff is still in play. And there's a lot that goes into making sure that goes correctly because, you can't use more than one 8th mile event towards your points. It's this whole thing. So there's a lot of manual labor that goes in there. And I just haven't had the time to be able to focus on that this week, but it's coming. And then up next, Tim Gorley of Go Fast Photography has started dropping his photos from Hot Rod Drag Week. The Day 1 Part 2 album dropped, I think last night, or Day 1 Part 3. Tons of great stuff in there. Man, just go over there, look at all that. He is sharing some of that with us, so that stuff will get posted over on our page eventually, and we'll go from there, man. It's freaking awesome to see all of his stuff. So what else you got going on, dude?
We talked about it on Wednesday night, but really the biggest thing was getting Dad's car started last week. So now it's just going to be getting it off the jack stands and checking out brakes and finding out if the fuel tank in it is still good, because right now we're just running it off of a small fuel gallon just to get it running. So need to find out if the fuel tank's good. If that's good, we can wrap that part up and then start working on brakes, and shortly after that it should be drivable. So
yeah, well, that's really cool. We don't have homecoming here for a couple weeks, thank goodness. That's why I'm not going to Six Smokies, is because of homecoming.
Yep.
That's the way it goes. So hey, them kids are important, man. There's gonna be a point where they're not hanging out with mom and dad anymore.
They're only going to have so many homecomings and proms and all that stuff, and once they're done, they're done.
Yep. All right, well, let's jump into this real quick. So the circuit update for this week is that I have created a Facebook event. We will do registration January 17th. I know that is much later than we typically have done it, but listen, there's so much interest around this event. Obviously, what we do is we limit it to 200, but all of the racers from 2025 that were on site and their co-pilots get early entry access. So with that, I figure we're probably going to be somewhere around 130, 150 pre-registered before we open it to the public. So we'll be running some special deals, like our sponsors that come on board. Some of those will be getting tickets to the event and stuff like that. And a lot of times they're not going to bring racers, they're going to bring their vendor truck. And so we'll be able to give those spots away. So we're going to do that before registration opens, all that kind of stuff. So this really, if you intend to attend the circuit 2026, you need to get on the event right now and of course, Summit is our title sponsor here at the show and the news and for the circuit 2025. So we appreciate them being on board around here. Got to hang out with those guys at Hot Rod Drag Week, and it was a blast. I'll tell you, it was really fun. Our PRI booth is much closer to them this year, so I'm sure we'll be hanging out with them at PRI again this year as well. Well, Summit Racing Speed Legacy began in 1968 as a one-man startup and is now the world's speed shop with 4 facilities and 200-plus catalog editions. They feel your passion, save you money, deliver fast, and offer top-notch customer service for more than 1,500 brands. Make sure to download the Summit Racing mobile app for easy access to speed parts. Find them on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram for all of your social stuff. From humble origins to the social media lane, Summit Racing stands by your need for speed. Find everything caught up with all that stuff. I will be doing an expression of interest type form to get people to kind of a newsletter that we'll be sending out every couple weeks for updates and as things become available and all that. So April 30th, early tech, 12 to noon, like we did last year. This is going to be a purchasable VIP that goes directly to the youth services of Tulsa, and then pre-party Thursday night, April 30th, for everybody that wants to come into town a little bit early, and then racing May 1st through 3rd. Tulsa Raceway Park, Thunder Valley, and Oklahoma City, and back to Tulsa Raceway Park. So it's going to be a fun time, dude.
Oh yeah. Good. Got ideas for a racer party for this year? Were you trying to do go-karts again?
Yeah, hell yeah, we're trying to do go-karts. Like go-karts was a blast. And that's really one reason we moved towards Oklahoma City. There are like 2 or 3 different places that have go-karts in that vicinity. So my plan was to call them this week, but y'all, with the throwdown in T-Town coming up, that's really consumed a ton of my time this week trying to get ready for all the promotion that goes around that for Tulsa Raceway Park. That's my plan for next week, is to call those folks and get a go-kart track locked in so we can get it. Yeah. Tom Bagley, I wish you could do the circuit too, buddy. We just need to find you a wife or husband, and you just need to move here. Then you can do all the ones you want. All right. So anyway, so that's the circuit update. I will have more. We're 8 months from it, 7 months from it. It sounds crazy, but we're really like 3 months from registration. And you know how that goes, dude. It's time to pump it up and get these guys excited to attend.
Dude, I feel like we just wrapped up promotion for 25.
We did, but hey, here's how crazy. It's been 3 months since the circuit 25.
Oh, I know.
It's wild, dude. It's wild. Speaking of that, you've been putting out circuit photos. So if you guys haven't gone over to the Circuit Charity with Horsepower page, do that. And then also we have albums on Drag Driver Pete for that as well. I think you're probably posting more to Drag Driver Pete, right?
I'm posting the albums to Drag Driver Pete and sharing them to the circuit.
Yep. So we can talk about that eventually. Like probably after the 26th event, I will close down the circuit pages and we'll move everything under the Drag Driver Pete banner, and it'll just, it obviously is a Drag Driver Pete event, but for 10 years that thing's been, or 13 years, that thing's been its own life. So I didn't want to just close that up and do all that stuff. So we're keeping it over here. Anyways, circuit updates. Get over there. Event is created. Jump on. It's under Drag Driver Pete. I'm a host of it. Eric's a host of it. The circuit's a host of it. You can find it anywhere. Well, guys, listen, we can't do this without y'all. You know how this works. You're our race car friends. Hit the share button as we jump in here. I do want to say thanks to everybody that has been sharing this stuff and making comments the last few shows. Man, it's been really cool to see the growth from that. We really appreciate that a whole bunch. And then thank you so much to our sponsors who help us make all of this possible, the travel, the equipment, all the stuff that goes on, the PRI award shows, all that kind of stuff that happens here at Drag Driver Pete, Summit Racing, Deechworks, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cams, J-Wire Solutions, AFCO Racing Products, Performer Built Transmissions, Car Chains 3D, Power Tube TV, WAF Racing, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk Classifieds. Y'all, I just ask, if you're shopping for stuff, hit those guys up first, see if they've got something that you can work with. We would be certainly appreciative of that.